We are almost a month away before Beyonce takes the stage in Inglewood, California for the Cowboy Carter Chitlin Circuit Tour. With that being said, it has been a struggle for a lot of fans trying to get tickets. And for the fans who are purchasing the tickets, they are not feeling the prices of them. It has been a struggle, apparently, for Beyonce to sell tickets, not just in the US, but also the UK. What does that say about the economy, and what does that say about Beyonce and her artistry right now in this day and age? Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What is going on, you all? There has been a couple of reports, very few reports, about Beyonce and her Cowboy Carter tour and the tickets not selling as fast, considering how fast they sold for Renaissance. There are so many factors to why this tour may not be selling as fast, and I don't think it is a critique on Beyonce as an artist or even just the album itself. I think it's a lot of factors. There is a lot of things going on right now, and I think it is giving us a peek inside of the economy because, as I've asked before, when was the last time you heard someone say that they had some money saved up in their Beyonce account for when she is touring? If there is money that is saved up, it's probably all gone because of all of the products that have been pushed over the last year and a half. But with that being said, I wanted to do a kind of deep dive of what is going on and what I think is happening. Some of the things I've already kind of said in a video, but I feel like we're starting to see the information come out slowly. We're not seeing too many big stories reporting this, but you are seeing some. And I want to talk about some of the reporting that is also happening because there was one video that I watched and there were two white women talking about it, and they were comparing her to Taylor Swift.
Time now for a big story making waves in the music world. It looks like all the single ladies are staying home as Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour, it is struggling to sell out.
And I just don't think it's fair to compare Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour to Taylor Swift's tour. Those are two different demographics. And we have to be honest, Taylor Swift is a white woman with a huge white fan base. And white people traditionally have more disposable income. We have to talk about race in this conversation because, of course, Taylor Swift fans are white. A lot of them are white. They have more disposable income. And when we're talking about Beyonce, a lot of her fan base, especially now, considering how she has shifted from pop music to where she is now, she has a lot of black people supporting her now. I mean, even in the reporting when they were talking about Beyonce and trying to compare her to Taylor Swift, they were making jokes about Single Ladies. Single Ladies came out how long ago? How many eras have we been in since Single Ladies? That's the only music that white folks know from Beyonce, is maybe a little bit of Lemonade, but it's Single Ladies. And Beyonce has been making very black music lately. Like, she's been intentionally making this music, and shout out to her because it's been really good. Now, I haven't dived into Cowboy Carter. I've already told y'all why. I'm just not feeling the optics in this era and the flag. But shout out to you, mama, especially you deserve that album of the year. But with all of that being said, it's been a struggle for her to sell tickets. And it's something that I kind of saw coming from the beginning. And I think the first thing is it's too soon. It's too soon considering that Beyonce was just on tour for Renaissance. Renaissance was an amazing experience. I went to the Atlanta show, had floor seats, had an amazing time. It was a beautiful birthday present to myself. I would do it all over again. That was my second time experiencing her concert. My first time was a long time ago, thanks to my mother for using her American Express, for getting me there and my brother. So that was my first time experiencing her. And even now I'm thinking about how much tickets have changed now, how Ticketmaster has essentially monopolized all of the concert going experience. From Live Nation to Ticketmaster, like, that is the perfect name, Ticketmaster, because at this point, we are like slaves and we need to really take back our power, and we need to push back and tell these folks that we are not going to be spending this type of money to get this experience. And we need artists like Beyonce and Taylor Swift to speak up. Now, Taylor Swift did speak out against Ticketmaster some years ago when her fans were complaining about the experience getting tickets. Beyonce fans did complain about the experience buying tickets for Renaissance, But this time it's different and a lot of things have changed. So a couple of major points that I want to hit on that is causing this slow ticket sale that is happening, because it's very likely she's going to go on to sell these tickets and these stadiums be full. I just don't see it. You kind of see it right now with them changing the prices of the tickets that are available, because there are a lot of tickets available. For it to be almost a month. Like even the Inglewood show in California is not even sold out yet. And that is almost a month away. So they're now changing the price, and people who bought expensive tickets can now change for better seats. Fans have complained about dynamic pricing and how they went to go purchase a ticket and a couple of minutes later it was way more expensive. For the floor seats that I had, I paid a good coin for them. I ain't gonna lie. It was a birthday gift to myself. That ticket is almost 30-40% more than what I paid. There are fans who have complained about spending $600-700 for floor seats, and now the tickets are probably $1,200-1,300. And that's not even including the fees that Ticketmaster are putting on them to even just get the ticket. Ticketmaster is not seeing heaven. They're not seeing the pearly gates unless God is a capitalist, which I would not be surprised. But I feel like the main issue right now is greed. When it comes to the concert experience, we are just, as fans, being exploited. Ticketmaster is exploiting us. Live Nation is exploiting us. All of them are working in cahoots. And even, I'm going to have to be honest, Beyonce kind of is doing a little bit of the same. There is no need for these tickets to be this much. Like, Beyonce is the icon. She is the moment. Her voice, it makes noise. Like, she has changed the game so many times. I mean, even she references it in her music. So I do think she needs to be speaking at least behind the scenes and making some changes, because this doesn't look good for her fans who are spending money that they do not have. If we're being completely honest, a lot of fans didn't have the money back in the Renaissance era to buy these tickets. They don't have it now. Like, we have inflation happening. We've experienced that for the last 2-3 years at this point. There is a looming recession possibly coming. And even the fans in the UK have said that this type of culture, when it comes to buying tickets, is not something that they're going to put up with. They're not used to paying this much for a concert experience. They have shared it on social media. When I asked what was going on, a lot of fans in the UK said that it's not making sense for them to spend $500-600 or £700 for these tickets, and they are taking their power back. They are not purchasing these tickets. Now, you always hear fans say that they're not going to be able to afford to participate in this concert. You usually hear that folks joke about it, but the jokes hit differently now because a lot of folks are dead serious. Like I said, there's been some reporting on it, like not just online, but even on the streets. Fans have came out and said that they just do not have it. They just don't have it. And the little money that they do have, because let's be honest, a lot of us are going into debt buying these tickets. Not everybody, because I feel like people want to have this pride of, I am not going into debt. Like, I got money saved up. And the statistics are showing us that a lot of us do not have a lot of disposable income right now. We need to be honest about that. And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on being honest about my financial situation, because we need to let it go. Like, all of us are not coined up. A lot of us are surviving. A lot of us are trying to make it. I mean, we're being hit left and right. Like, all of us are dealing with some type of thing, even if it's not us, a family member or a friend are going through it. And we need to be honest about this. Like, a lot of us, no shade, have used Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay to pay for these tickets. And they have been making a lot of money off of us. And we should not have to go into debt to support our favorite artists. Like, we are doing them a favor. It's not them doing us a favor. It is us doing them a favor. They need us to make money. They need us. So they need to understand that we cannot afford these tickets at these prices. Like, we cannot. And you're seeing that now. Like, because you have folks who just don't have it. They don't even have the money to even pretend to buy these tickets. Yes, some of you all have bought these tickets. Some of you all have gotten tickets or whatever, but I'm talking about the general public, because even the response of people buying tickets this time is almost like it is a gloating, boasting situation where folks have to let us know, I got my tickets. It's not just I'm the very few that was able to get in line and get the ticket. It's I'm able to afford these tickets. It's not the same as Renaissance. Like, yes, there were people who did it during Renaissance. You have folks taking screenshots of how much they paid for the ticket, but this time it's different. It's different, and I need us to be honest about it, because we shouldn't have to go through this as fans of these artists to see them perform. So while we're talking about that, I need us to really bring Beyonce in for a second. I think this is an important moment for Beyonce and her team to realize that a lot of her fans are struggling. They have supported you in all of the recent products and merchandise and stuff that you have put out. And I think it's important for you to realize that they might not have enough money to see this concert. And I think that's devastating. I think that's devastating considering fans have went out and bought the whiskey. They've gotten the hair care products. They went and got the perfume. They have went and got merchandise, all types of things. They have went out and got the Levi's. Like, you have fans who are obsessed with Beyonce and they feel like they have to purchase these things to have some type of connection to her. And I think the biggest connection that we would like as fans is to see her perform music that we enjoy. I think this is what is important to fans, to be able to see her perform these things. But as I said before, greed, not just on Ticketmaster, Live Nation, but also Beyonce. I feel like this is very greedy to be doing a tour 2 years later after Renaissance and doing this tour, even if it's a small Chitlin Circuit tour, to even call it a Chitlin Circuit tour, is laughable because these tickets are not cheap. This is not a Chitlin Circuit. You can't cosplay as Chitlin Circuit and doing a Southern album, a country album. It's a Beyonce, it's a country album, performing it in the UK, and you're only doing 2 Southern cities. You're doing shows in California. Like, this is not a Chitlin Circuit. So we have to be honest about what is happening. Like, 2 years after Renaissance to be doing a tour again is unnecessary. It is unnecessary because Renaissance was the moment. It was the moment. It came. The album was amazing. We loved that. She should have got Album of the Year for that. We're still listening to Renaissance. Matter of fact, I still get chills when the song is playing. Like, I still get chills. Like, I go back to where I was when I first heard the song. Like, it ate. Now, we can talk about Cowboy Carter not having the same effect, even though it did win a Grammy, the Album of the Year for it. But a lot of fans haven't necessarily been in love with this album, and insiders have been reporting that the fans are not as receptive to this album versus the other ones. And that doesn't mean that the fans won't show up and purchase tickets, but you have folks who are not as interested in this album, but they will still go out to see Beyonce because it's just what it is. And they know she's an amazing performer and she's going to give a show. But you have people not in love with this album as much and this era. You have a looming recession going on, and people just don't have the discretionary spending for this concert, and the concert being very, very more expensive than the previous one. So you have all of these things wrapped up, and it is hurting Beyonce's ticket sales. And I will say it's not just hurting her ticket sales, it's kind of hurting her as an artist, because if Beyonce is the icon and all that, and she's struggling to sell tickets for a concert, what is going on? Like, what does that say about Beyonce and her artistry? And I don't think this is going to be something that will be a stain on her artistry, considering all of the good that we have gotten from her over the years. But I feel like it is a blemish because of the greed that is jumping out right now. We're not used to seeing Beyonce this much. I don't care if we are calling it Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. It needs to be spread out. To do a tour this big after 2 years, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's just not the time right now. And I know people will come and say, well, Taylor Swift did it. What's the issue? Such and such did it. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I can't name one Taylor Swift song. I don't even know what the last concert tour was even called. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I listen to Beyonce. All these other folks have not gotten my money like Beyonce has gotten my money. I have went to other artists' concerts and stuff to support them, but I am the biggest fan. If we're comparing artists that I listened to and went to their concerts, Beyonce is. I've spent the most money at her concert, and that's who I'm choosing to talk about. She is the standard. So we have to be honest. If we're going to say that Beyonce is the standard and folks model after the things that she does, then we need to be honest about how much power Beyonce has to change things. We can't one day call Beyonce the standard and has all of this control, and then the other day say, well, she doesn't really have control of that. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because she does have enough power to speak up and to make changes. And I understand that touring is going to be more expensive this year because of the cost of everything going up. And if we're going to factor in inflation being the reason why ticket sales are more expensive and the cost of touring is more expensive, then we shouldn't be hearing about the revenue coming in from these concerts. If we're going to say it's expensive and all of that, then I should be hearing $300 million revenue. I'm not saying that's the number, but we shouldn't be hearing that. That's the same thing I'm feeling about with these companies talk about inflation and, oh, this is expensive. And that's the reason why airplane tickets are so expensive. But y'all are bringing in $2-3 billion worth of revenue each and every year. So can y'all take a cut a little bit? Like, can y'all take a little cut? But y'all can't. And I know how silly it may look for a business to take cuts to please customers, but if you think about that, that tells us a lot. If they're not willing to make any sacrifices for us to have a better experience, what does that say? What does that say? That's the question I'm asking. And when we talk about these artists, we need to realize that they are human, but they're also businesses. And they are not factoring in a lot of our experiences when it comes to how much money they can get from us. And they should. That's why I'm asking Beyonce and her team to take a look and see what is going on and, hey, make some tweaks, because these tickets should not be this expensive for fans, if we're being honest. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to be honest about how it's feeling, even though I won't be participating in this concert. I'm excited to see all of y'all looks and the country outfits y'all gonna be in, the short shorts and the Daisy Dukes. I'm excited to see that. I'm just sad to see so many people are not going to be able to make it. So many people came out of their pocket. So many people went into debt further than they already are to experience their favorite artist. And we should not. I feel like that the powers at B, the people who have power and influence, need to be speaking up for their fans, because it is important. It is important for them to realize that the fans are hurting. And not only are the fans hurting, but it's hurting your legacy. I know that my video may not reach Beyonce or her team to make any changes. I'm asking us to make changes, because it should not be like that. I want to imagine a world where we can think outside of what we are told, that we can ask for more. There's nothing wrong with us asking and saying, hey, this is too expensive for us to be trying to see you. I need for us to name that, because the statistics and everything that we're seeing about the state of the economy and how we are infected by the price and the cost of living are true. And we need to be more honest about that. Tell me your thoughts below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.